welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview. Last week, we gave you one side of the story, the Congress's version of the crisis it faces in Meghalaya. This week, we speak to the man who did it, former Chief Minister Mukul Sangma, who left the Congress with his loyalists. In this edition of HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, we speak to Mukul Sangma on the allegations the Congress has levelled against him and much more. The man of the moment, Mr. Mukul Sangma, here with us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sangma, and thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure, always.
Let me begin with the results of the Tripura civic polls, where the BJP swept. What are the lessons for Meghalaya?
The lessons should be for everyone, not just for Meghalaya, for the whole, all the parties in the whole socio-political spectrum. And we always take, cognizance of anything that is considered as certain loopholes or certain mistakes, and we must learn from them. And that is precisely what we have been always telling. And every experiences that we draw from both success and failure, they enrich us, and they definitely then position us in a with a better wherewithal to deal with the situation and obviously navigate in the right perspective.
After the Tripura results, would there be any change in the strategy that you are planning for Meghalaya?
In respect of Meghalaya, we don't have Panchayati Raj system, but we do have the autonomous district councils. And we just had the autonomous district council for western part, that is Garo Hills Autonomous District Council, just which coincided with that Assam poll and West Bengal poll. And now we are preparing for the assembly polls. The General Assembly election is scheduled to be held in 2023. So every state will have to look at the issues and dovetail our strategy and re-strategize accordingly. And nothing has to be, the same old thing, repetition of same old thing. There are plenty of dynamics, political dynamics, and based on which we accordingly respond to the situation.
In your home state, the TMC is seen as a Bengali party, if I may use the term. How will you change this perception with less than 2 years to go for the polls?
Yeah, who was the founder president, the first president of Indian National Congress? It's W.C. Banerjee. So basically, we are talking about connecting our ideology with the rest of the population, irrespective of whether it is West Bengal or Meghalaya or Assam or Northeast or the rest of the country. I think we need to understand that there are certain percentage of people who can be misguided by this kind of notion, which is racial and which is not inconsistent with our spirit of democracy. So we have always been fighting against people who try to divide people on communal lines, on racial lines. And if any political party is trying to generate this narrative, I think we should take cognizance of this whole approach, negative approach, and tag them head on. They must be exposed of their evil motive. It's very pathetic. Only people who do not have any strategy for the larger good of the people, larger good of the state, larger good of the nation will resort to this kind of, divide and rule politics.
All this sounds very good on paper, but the ground reality is very different, Mr. Sangma.
Yes, on the ground, very different, true. But I'm telling you one thing. There are people who will go by these kind of considerations. But how many % of the total population of people tend to think this way? What I'm saying is that when we are looking at the population as a whole, in a particular state or in a particular region, obviously we do have the huge diversity from the socio-political perspective, from the socio-ethnic perspective, from the religious perspective. And when we are looking at creating a platform which is capable of actually bringing people together and accordingly connect our thoughts and our strategy, our plan, and our agenda for the people, agenda for the state, agenda for the nation, which revolves around the larger good of the people and larger good of the state and larger good of the nation.
Yes.
Then
Yes,
you
but
are able to connect to right kind of thinking people, right
yes, but
thinking people, like-minded people who share your same agenda, who share your same dream. In as far as Meghalaya is concerned, as far as my understanding about our inclination toward any political party based on various factors, I know the people of the state very well. I understand their pulse, and I have enough trust and confidence on the people. And this is the only reason why I have taken such a decision, which is considered as something unexpected but bold enough. It's a question of how you connect to the ground reality and connect with the issues and concerns and deal with them, and based on which you have a connect with the people, you have a connect between the masses and the leadership. That is precisely how the political strategy operates. It's a question of mutual trust between the people who are driving the agenda and reaching out to people, connecting to people, and the in reciprocation, the trust and confidence that we receive from the people, that we receive from the masses. That is what is going to determine the overall outcome of any electoral battle. That is precisely the reason why we have been saying that the grand old party has to understand this ground reality.
Mr. Sangma, you refer to the Congress as the grand old party. Do you still think that it deserves that tag?
Yeah.
Or is it losing its relevance?
The grand old party, this nomenclature will still be there, will still be in circulation, come what may. But the fact is that the overall disconnect of the party with the ground reality, with the masses, is a matter of concern which were required to be understood, analyzed, comprehended, and therefore addressed, so that you remain relevant. You remain really, the party to generate that kind of hope that, yes, this is the party that we can trust. This is the party that we can actually have the kind of confidence that as a citizen one should have to expect the party to be able to deliver and enable people to realize the hopes and aspirations. But this is something which has slowly been seen as not happening. In fact, when I have shared my, the overall background leading to this decision, I've always said that, yes, this must be a wake-up call to the Indian National Congress and the leadership.
Mr. Sangma, what happened suddenly within 5 days? Because on November 18th, you gave a statement saying that you will work towards strengthening the party. So in 5 days, what happened that you joined the TMC? The timeline doesn't fit in.
No. It is not a matter of a decision which is an offshoot of something which has erupted overnight. I have always maintained that, yes, it has been based on our long-drawn engagement to get things corrected. Let me be very precise and blunt. Okay, it has started since 2018 onwards. 2018, if you revisit and analyze the whole background of the whole electoral battle in 2018 and post 2018 till now, then you will understand what exactly Dr. Sangma is trying to share with you. And it's something which I maintain that we must actually keep within the four walls of the political party. We don't actually discuss internal party affairs outside the four walls of the party. Therefore, obviously, it is not known what was the kind of discussions that were being engaged for, and then the kind of issues based on which we thought the attention should be focused towards addressing those concerns, so that we are able to overcome the challenges based on the dynamics of politics, based on the situation that was unfolding. We have to evolve and we have to keep pace with the evolution. And if we refuse to do so, then we become redundant.
I take your point, but coming back to my question, which I repeat, what suddenly changed in 5 days? Because if what you're saying is true, then how would you give a statement on November 18th that everything is okay and I'm going to work towards strengthening the party? And within 5 days, you quit.
You have to come to Meghalaya, then I will show you the factors which are actually the factors which, when aggregated, then you understand. Not like this. I cannot tell you.
Sure, I take your point. But then why would you give a statement saying that you will work towards strengthening the party? And in 5 days, the scenario changes. That is my point.
No. What happens in Indian National Congress? You will have a meeting. You have seen the day when I have gone to meet the party leadership because they wanted to resolve issues. What has happened? After rounds and rounds of meeting, after sittings after sitting, even before I could meet the Honorable Congress President, the photo operation was done. It was in the Twitter and trying to show that, okay, everything is fine, everything is resolved. Even before having a meeting with the Honorable Congress President. So this is what happens in this party, in Indian National Congress. You attend a party meeting, then you'll be asked, okay, you sign here. You sign here. Did you see me giving statement? Was it a statement coming from my, from the horse's mouth? No. So this is how the party operates. Okay. And even if I know that, okay, we need to take a bold decision, why will I tell them and then leave? That is how the political strategy has to be adopted. So why will I tell them, look, I'm going to leave, so I don't want to sign. So you sign it. You can't build this Indian National Congress under the present circumstances and take on the might of BJP with this kind of chalta hai attitude.
Mr. Sangma, please don't get upset with me, but I must ask that are you then saying that you signed the statement and why should you tell the party that you're leaving? I take your point, but isn't that kind of a backstabbing?
Precisely, yeah. So long you are there, you don't speak against, that's how it is.
Would you then agree that you backstabbed the Congress?
The Congress is backstabbing the hundreds of thousands of Congress karyakarta. Simple. Congress is backstabbing the hundreds of thousands of karyakarta on the grassroots, including people like us who have built the party brick by brick. Please remember, in 1999, after late P.A. Sangma, who was then one of the tallest leaders of the region, was expelled, and when he floated new political party along with other leaders, Sharad Pawarji and Tariq Anwarji, what happens? People like us stayed back in the party. And we build the party against the might of such a tall leader like late P.A. Sangma. Is it easy? In fact, the Congress leadership is betraying us. Congress leadership is betraying the hundreds of thousands of karyakarta at the grassroots.
Mr. Sangma, you admitted that you have been planning, or these things started in 2018. So in that sense, Mr. Vincent Pala is right when he says that Mr. Sangma was prepared or was preparing to leave the party in 2018, but the BJP did not accept him.
I don't comment on those things. I don't comment on those things. When he is trying to play to the gallery, I don't bite that bait. I have no comment on what Pala says. I am not talking about Pala. Pala is nobody here. Okay, simple, full stop. Even if hypothetically, if you're saying that BJP did not, will BJP tell Mr. Vincent Pala unless he is part of their team? Will BJP leadership tell Vincent Pala? Will Narendra Modi ji tell Vincent Pala? Will Amit Shah ji tell Vincent Pala?
I will still attempt to ask you one more thing Pala has said, and you're welcome to answer it or not answer it. On acceptability, he said that while the Congress was speaking to other parties, they were prepared to form a coalition, but they did not want to accept you as the chief minister. Is that right?
See, whether I am acceptable or not, please remember one thing. In 2013, with my leadership, for the first time in the history of Meghalaya, we touched the halfway mark. That means we were building the party in such a way that the party is capable of really serving the people as a party, as a political party, because on number of counts, when you have coalition, you have the whole political dynamics which comes on the way. The coalition politics has their own limitations, constraints. Therefore, that means you are only creating a situation where the party would become stronger and stronger. What happened after that? Because they wanted to see that Dr. Mukul doesn't become chief minister again, they plotted prior to 2018, in 2017. In 2017, during the Christmas and New Year gap, my Pradesh Congress president, the then Congress president, Dr. D.D. Lapang, was summoned to Delhi. And what was the outcome? Outcome was that on the 27th of December, they held a meeting. On the 30th of December, they denotified him. He was removed from the Pradesh Congress president post. And a new incumbent, a greenhorn, who have joined Congress in 2013 and fought election, was made the PCC president. Congress has become so bankrupt of leaders or what? And in my absence, this was the first beginning of conspiracy to see that the Congress cannot form government in 2018. Is it not match fixing? This is completely match fixing. So if you reconnect to what I said, these are all politics, which is a replica of, like all those Mir Jafar playing their role. Who is playing what politics? Who is advising Delhi? Who is advising Delhi then? Who is advising my Congress president there?
Mr. Sangma, tell me frankly, did your exit have something to do with the appointment of Vincent Pala as state chief? Did you see him as a threat?
See, Pala did not get himself appointed, no? Pala did not get himself appointed. He was appointed by the party leadership.
Did you consider joining the BJP? Wouldn't that have been a better option? Because the people in the state are familiar with the BJP rather than an untested and untried TMC.
Do you think that BJP will never approach me? Do you even think that the BJP would not have approached any of my Congress MLAs, then Congress MLAs? It is a continuous process. It is their way of playing politics. Don't you think that BJP doesn't want to have any foothold in Meghalaya? You have to ask them.
I thought it was the other way around. It was you who kept approaching the BJP, while the BJP, in one sense, cold-shouldered you.
See, this is very unpleasant for me to even respond, because that means you are saying that the Dr. Mukul is something which is a spent force. I'll prove you in 2023. Okay.
You have said that joining the TMC was a natural choice. Why did you wake up so late in the day? And why, after Mamata Banerjee's West Bengal win, isn't this kind of opportunism?
When to join and when not to join is my judgment. I am not guided by others' judgment. It's simple. According to me, it is the right time. Let me be again clear on this. What is the option available? If you want to withdraw yourself from the original the political party, that means in the instant case from Indian National Congress, if I am to leave my Indian National Congress, what is going to be my alternative political party which can provide the platform? There are multiple options. One is that, okay, I join any existing political party, national or regional, or I float my own political party. There are multiple options, but one has to take a cautious decision. And the cautious decision revolves around the kind of responsibility that we have agreed and we have promised to shoulder. Now, where is those party? Where are those party? Which are those party who are going to fight against this other than Indian National Congress? We do the searching. We do the searching. Now, natural choice, why we say, okay, we see now that, okay, Trinamool Congress is taking the BJP head on. Okay, they may be more or less a power to be reckoned with only in West Bengal as of now. But if you're looking at your responsibility, if as a politician I'm looking at my own responsibility, I need to aggregate. I need to say that, look, what you're doing is something which I appreciate. And I must amplify your approach, and I must be able to amplify your strength so that you are able to really take on the forces against which we are fighting. Is there any other political party which is really genuinely taking the BJP head on? I don't find. Then you obviously will see, okay, there is one political party, which is All India Trinamool Congress, which is really fighting, taking the BJP head on.
Would you agree that Mamata Banerjee has a long way to go before she acquires a national image?
There is no shortcut. I agree, there is no shortcut. But will we then remain silent and surrender? Okay, nothing is going to happen, I remain. Even if the boat sinks, I sink along with the boat. No, because we cannot fail the people who have vested their trust and confidence on us. Therefore, you see, the whole resolve of Mamata Didi to take the BJP head on is something which should somehow provoke a process of thinking in the mind of all political leaders who think the same way and who want to really defend and protect the interests of our people.
As a senior politician and someone who's been with the Congress, objectively, do you think the downslide in the Congress sharpened after Rahul Gandhi donning the mantle, or the decline had begun even while Sonia Gandhi was at the helm?
See, it's a complex situation which requires a complex reply. Question may be simple, but the reply will be complex because situation itself that has inflicted the party is really complex. It's like a disease, not cured on time, slowly developing, complications after complications. So this is something which has to be looked at from that angle. We cannot be unfair to Congress president alone. This problem, the whole responsibility of what has happened and what is happening, and the failure to address this concern and restore things has to be shouldered by all the people in the party leadership, including the people in the Congress Working Committee.
Do you think the decline has sharpened after Rahul has come in?
No, you look at all the Congress leaders after 2009, between 2009 and 2014. Tell me which party leader came to defend the party and counter the opposition. I don't want to put the whole blame on one person. That's why I'm telling you, because you are dribbling your argument in that direction, but you will not get that kind of reply from me. I am telling you the truth. Didn't Rahul Gandhi offered his resignation? Didn't he? He did. And he also said, let anybody from other than Gandhi family take the responsibility of Congress president. Wasn't it there? What were we doing? What were those leaders doing?
My sense is that you are going soft on Rahul Gandhi.
No, it's a fact. You all want to do Rahul bashing. I'm not Rahul basher,
On a lighter note, your wife has more assets than you. At one time, even her laptop was costlier. But what she did not possess was a revolver, which was your valued possession.
Well, you see, I must tell you that I'm not a good shooter. She's a better sharpshooter than me because she was in NCC. I had my education in the village, in the place where I was born and brought up. So I didn't have an NCC cadets, so I couldn't. But as a man, sometimes, you have some preferences. You want to have a guitar, you want to have a gun, you want to have sometimes, some kind of antique car, Jeep car. So I always used to like those old cars, like this Willys, left and right, like that, some personal choice, personal preference. So this is something which is linked to that. And as far as the assets are concerned. See, I was privileged to get married to a family which was known to be a rich family. I don't come from a rich family, but I came with a rich heart. Okay.
Do you still have that revolver?
Okay, now we can jump to another topic and other topics. Now, personal liking and dislikings are, I think that you can have a beautiful interview on many other things.
Okay, so what are your preparations for 2023?
The preparations are on. You have just started. You have just started a new beginning.
Dr. Mukul Sangma, I wish you the best of luck in your new venture and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.